Picky bars started for me as a distraction from injury in 2008. I missed the Olympics by one spot when the trials were here, and then I had an injury that lasted about 18 months, and I wasn't sure if I was going to make it back as a pro athlete or not. And my husband was having problems digesting gluten and dairy, and he just started his triathlon career, and so I started making him a special energy bar so that he could exercise and not have any problems with his stomach. And then it turned out to be something a lot of my friends liked, and a lot of people in town that I coach and run with on Thursday nights, they started eating them and helping us perfect the recipe. And then my teammate Stephanie Rothstein and I spent several months perfecting it, making it just right, and decided we would, try to sell them and see what happened. And then everything sort of took off from there. It's been more than we could have dreamed for. We're selling tons of bars all over the country. We're in stores all over the place, and it's just exciting. It's developed a whole other part of me than sport does. So it's a great balance for my life.
What is that part of you they say that's been developed?
I'd say that sports only really tackles competitiveness and a dedication. It doesn't really intellectually challenge you, whereas business challenges your brain and makes you think about marketing and strategy and all the kinds of things that I learned when I was at Stanford that I haven't been able to do for the last 7 or 8 years before I started this business. So I think that it just makes me feel more like a whole person to access the different parts of my skills and talents, and just challenge myself in new ways.
What's been the most challenging part of this?
I'd say the most challenging part about having Picky Bars has been just that I didn't have any experience with food industry, neither my husband or Stephanie, and the three of us have had to learn on the go. And one thing that has been really helpful has been the willingness of the local community, Larry and Luna from Coconut Bliss, and people at Glory Bee and Hummingbird and other small businesses to help us and walk us through things, and with those next steps, just making us feel better about decisions that we have to do. So also, I'd say sharing my house as a living space with a working space is a challenge. You don't get to just use your kitchen whenever you want. You have to work around the work schedule. But we've been awesome at finding great employees, and there's so many great people in this town, and we have the best employees. So that really helps when you have people coming in your house that you actually really like them.
So how involved are you? Do you ever pour the ingredients in? Do you ever mash them together or anything like that?
My involvement is more with the creation process of new recipes and in figuring out strategy now. I don't do a ton of the bar making myself, but I do, I'm a part of it every day, and that this is my house and my kitchen, and I keep a close watch on what people are doing and make sure it's up to the standards that we want. And when it comes time to make the next recipe, I'll be right back in here.
Okay, you got 4 different kinds, I guess?
Yep, currently Picky Bars has 4 flavors. We have Mega Nuts, All-in Almond, Nutless Wonder, and the Smooth Caffeinator. And they all have special ingredients. We put a lot of time into them, and they're all balanced the same way with the macronutrients, and they have a 4-to-1 ratio of carbs to protein for recovery. So we definitely have a lot of qualifications that need to be included in a recipe before we release it. And so when we do release one, it means we really feel confident with it, and we've nailed it, and it's runner and normal person tested and approved.
You've struggled with injuries a lot.
Yes.
What's that been like for you?
Well, part of being a professional athlete is dealing with injuries. It just comes with the territory. It's the least fun part of the job, and it's the part that most people who are fans of the sport don't get experience with. Because anytime you go to the track, you're going to see the healthy ones and the people that are thriving at that moment. And there's always going to be a good chunk of us athletes that are still at home, or cross-training in the pool, or working out at the DAC and just trying to get back on their feet. So I'd say it's like the quiet underbelly of the pro sports world, and I've unfortunately had the experience of being there multiple times in my career in the last few years. But it does make you a lot stronger, and it makes the highs feel a lot better. You really feel like you've earned it when you climb your way back out of the pit. And you just become more grateful for what you can do, and you focus on what you can do rather than what you can't do. And I think that's just a good lesson for life in general. So I wouldn't really choose a flawless injury-free career, to be honest, now that I've experienced it, because the things I've learned through the injuries have made being 7th in the world possible. And I don't believe I could have been 7th in the world last year without the obstacles that I had to overcome in the years prior.
With the trials coming up, and this is Tracktown USA, and people here know you, they're familiar with you, what you've done on the track. What's something that most people aren't going to know about Lauren Fleshman?
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty open in my interviews, so I feel like people probably know me pretty well. I try to get out there in the community and meet people. I would say people might not know as much about my husband yet, but he's emerged in the last couple of years as one of the best triathletes in the sport, just having started as a 31-year-old. So I'd say the other half of the Fleshman-Thomas household is what most people probably don't know about me. And obviously he's the most important thing in my life, so I hope that over the course of the next few months people get to know him a little bit better and see the exciting stuff he's doing. In addition to triathlon, he's the CEO of this company, and without his leadership and experience in business and startups, Picky Bars would not be possible. So it really does take the whole team of us.
How would you describe yourself, personality-wise?
I would describe myself as a real dreamer and very ambitious and never satisfied, and very curious about life and learning, and I'm kind of insatiable when it comes to learning new things. So I guess that's probably the best way to describe me.
How does that translate at all on the track?
Well, let's see, how does that translate to the track? I'd say what I have that a lot of athletes don't have is an utter confidence in myself. And it's not that I never doubt it, but I've been through a lot of tough stuff with the sport, and I've overcome a lot. And so when I step on the line now, I know that anything is possible. Even if I haven't had perfect preparation and my perfect storybook leading to the Olympic trials hasn't been written the way I'd like it to, I'm still going to stand on that line believing in myself and giving it the best shot. And because I have other things in my life that I'm happy with, I don't have anything to lose when I step on the track, because I feel like I'm developing my whole self. So I can go out there and stand on the line and relax and do what I love and enjoy it and just try to get the most out of that day.
Has it been a long 4 years, short 4 years since 2008?
Oh no, the last 4 years since 2008 have flown by. I can't even believe it's time for another Olympic trials, to be honest. I can't believe I'm 4 years older. I feel exactly the same as far as my energy and spirit and drive go. And I feel like I could do this for another 4 years if I want to, which I never would have imagined when I was younger, running until 34 or 35. But yeah, I'm just excited it's here. The 2008 trials were the most fun times that I'd ever had in Eugene. Just the way the community came out for it, the festival, the energy, the excitement. It's to think that that's all here again, and we're gonna have 10 days or whatever of that to look forward to. I can't wait.
Now, they haven't nailed this down for sure, but possibly there could be a media 800-meter race.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I might enter into that, so what's your advice?
If they have a media 800-meter race, I think that's going to get people pretty excited. It'll give people a lot of perspective on how fast the athletes are really running at the professional level, and also the benefits that come with practice to tolerate pain. So I would just recommend that you definitely get out there and exert yourself fully a few times before that race. And best workout you could probably do would be to do a 600 as fast as you can, and then only give yourself about a minute break, and then run the last 200 as hard as you can. Just something that feels pretty miserable, so that by the time you get out there to the track to do that 800, you will have felt it before. The most challenging part about an 800 is the shock and betrayal your body feels that you're putting it through this amount of pain. And all that you have to do is introduce that to yourself a couple times before it's not so bad.
How does it rate with the 5,000?
How is what?
How does it rate with the 5,000?
The 800 is a lot more booty lock than you're going to get in the 5,000. The 5K is more of a slow burn, and so it's kind of the equivalent of, I'd say, 800's like running through a fire quickly, and the 5K is like running on hot coals for 8 minutes or so out of the 15. So it's just different kind of pain, but both equally respectable, I think.
Do you have goals set for the Olympic trials?
Well, my goal in the Olympic trials right now is to go to the line confident with my preparation that I did everything I could. I haven't had an ideal situation. I've been struggling with an IT band injury, so I just want to be able to go to the line and say I did everything I could to the best of my abilities to get here today, and then not get in my own way, basically. Like, just express that, get out there and have fun, and remember that it's an honor to be at the Olympic trials in the first place. Making the final will be a challenge for me this year, and that's humbling, because 12 months ago, if you'd asked me, I would have said I was going to be thinking about winning the thing, and it's not like that's out of the question. It's just, it might not be my reality this time around, but that doesn't make it any less special, and it shouldn't take away from the fun of it. So that's what I'm focusing on over the next few weeks.
What would it mean to you to make the Olympic team?
Oh man, to make the Olympic team would be phenomenal. It would be like more than I could ever hope for. It's so hard to do it, because not only do you have to be one of the top 3 in the country, but you have to be one of the top 3 in the country on that one day, you know, which requires so much luck. It requires some other people having a bad day, you being at your best shape at the right moment. It's going to be really tough, you know, but people do it. 3 people do it every 4 years in each event. So if it was me, I would just feel really grateful and lucky and joyful, and then start thinking about how I'm going to go to London and kick some people's butts.
What's your favorite part about running?
My favorite part about running is just that I love running. I love the act of running. I love how it makes me feel. I love the places that it takes me. I love that I can go to a trailhead in the mountains and cover the distance it would take a person. If they were hiking, it would take them all day, and I can cover that much distance in an hour and a half, and it just feels like being in an IMAX movie, you know. It's incredible. And other than that, the competition side of things that I love is that when I get to the starting line of a big race, I'm towing the line with like the top 10 in the world at what I do. And in any job, being in the same room with the top 10 in the world at what you do would be such an honor and so incredible. And it would just be nice to just be there and share their oxygen. So yeah, those are the 2 things I love most.
Once you're done with your running career, I know you still run, but in terms of professionally running, is this what you want to do? Is this what you continue doing? Is there something else you have in mind?
Well, when I'm done running, there's a lot of things that I want to do. Like I said, I'm insatiable and have a passion for life and learning new things. And one thing that I'd love to do is picky bars, and really see how that can grow and try to get them in anybody's hands who wants them, and just have a great product. But I also want to be a writer. I'd really like to share my experiences through sport and write fiction, nonfiction. I don't know what, writing makes me so passionate and brings me so much pleasure, and I love being an observer of life. So I think that those are probably the 2 things professionally that I look forward to most. But I'll always run. Running is part of my blood now. I've been doing it since I was 13. So it's as long as I'm able to put one foot in front of the other, you'll see me out there.
And refresh my memory, what do you want to write? Is there something specific that you want to do?
There's nothing really specific that I want to write about, other than, you know, I don't know, like, what does any writer write about, right? You just spend time thinking about it and see what strikes you, and then go for it. For me, it'll probably involve something with running, because that's what I love the most, but we'll see. It'll be part of the next chapter of my life.